After having completed all of the steps and double checking everything you've connected, you could go ahead and reconnect the vehicle battery. You will then notice, if everything's hooked up right, that the fuel gauge should be showing empty. So that makes sense, as there's nothing in the tank yet. So the next step is to go to the gas station and fill it up. When you start up the vehicle for the first time, ensure that there are no check engine lights, as there shouldn't be any. Alright, so once you go to fill up, you can just fill up as normal. You can see that the flow will be about the same as you would normally expect with your normal fuel tank. During your first fill up, you're going to want to go ahead and peek under the bottom and check for any leaks. I would recommend actually crawling on the floor and looking up under there for any leaks. But you shouldn't expect to see any leaks if you've properly tightened things down. Another thing I might recommend is if you plan this right on your first fill up, have your main tank completely empty, or as close as you can, so you can see that you're getting as close to 47 gallons in total as possible. On this fill up, I actually don't have it that way. I've actually filled it once up before already, but filming for the video purposes. Here we've passed the 24-gallon mark, so at this point any remaining amount would be what was empty in my main tank originally. Alright, so as you can see, it shut off on its own just fine. You can see here we're at 33.8 gallons, so that's the whole auxiliary tank plus whatever else needed to be filled up in my main, and everything shut off fine. No leaks underneath or anything like that. So you can see after filling up, my main is all the way full, and now if I come over to here, you can see that my fuel gauge for my auxiliary tank is also showing full. So with that, the next thing that you'll need to do is drive. You'll want to drive until you empty out about 1/4 of a tank out of your main, and then you'll want to initiate pumping from your auxiliary to your main. You'll want to check and make sure that everything's good with that. You should see your fuel gauge go up on your main, and you should see that you completely top off your main, and then you can push the button again to turn it off. And then the only other thing you can really check after that is run down your main tank to pretty low, and then do a more complete transfer that fully empties your auxiliary tank, and then just check and make sure that your fuel gauge will shut off the pump automatically once it detects empty. I think maybe one more thing I'd recommend is at some point go ahead and have the vehicle parked in your garage and turn on the transfer pump while it's parked and crawl underneath, and just make sure that there's no leaks whenever the pump is running. And with that, you've completed all the steps and you've successfully installed the auxiliary tank.